To finish up with the geometric ornaments, I want to show you this egg and dart example. So in this case we're going to create the profile behind the carvings as well. So it's probably something like this if you look at it from the side. Right, and this portion is the egg and dart, and actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it pointing inwards, and we're going to add these ornaments to create the profile like this afterwards. So we're going to start with making it inwards. Alright, so let's fold these end vertices to make sure the shape is closed. And using the fillet tool, let's round off some of the parts. Okay. Let's round over here. Alright, I think that's going to be close enough. Maybe just a little chamfer over here. So let's add one more segment. Right, and just chamfer these sharp corners. Okay, so this is going to be our profile. Let's extrude it. Okay, looks close enough. And I'm going to hide it for now. Okay, so let's begin with the geometric egg and dart ornament. So first up, let's create a sphere, and this is going to make the egg. Let's try lowering the segments to something like 16 maybe. And using the FFD 4x4 modifier, I'm going to slightly modify the shape to match and the reference better. So this looks about right from this side. Let's unhide the profile. And let's adjust from the side. No, it's probably something like this. Maybe a bit flatter. So this looks about right. I'm just gonna make this upper part a bit smaller. Okay, so that's the egg. Maybe let's increase the segments a little bit to maybe 24 or so, just to get a slightly smoother result. And now we have to make the small leaf and this element that goes around the egg. Let's start by making a line that traces the rough shape of this element. Okay, match the vertex count on both sides. And close it up. Let's collapse to editable poly. And using the connect tool, just connect these vertices like this. Right, and let's go to perspective view and move them on the y-axis to the appropriate positions. And I think we can slightly modify the egg like this. And keep moving the vertices like that. Okay, so the overall shape is pretty similar to the shape of the egg. Right. So next I'm gonna select this edge ring, connect, and move these two edge rings backwards. I'm gradually deselecting some parts of it. And finally, let's select the outline and extrude it back by using the Shift plus drag method. Alright, so let's chamfer these center edges. Add turbo smooth. And looks like we need to make this upper part a bit wider. And also delete the polys on top. And I mean these ones. So just hit delete, get rid of them. And that looks nice. Okay, so I'm gonna add some symmetry. Flip it, move the axis. And that's nice. Okay, let's assign them the same material. So they all have the same color and it's easier to see the overall shape. And maybe let's straighten out in the back. And make the sharp part a bit thinner. Okay, good. So next up we need to add the little leaf. And for this leaf we can just create 1/2 by roughly tracing the outline. As usual for creating these leaf models. Alright. Let's collapse to editable poly. And the basic lines that follow the main lines of the object in the reference photo. It's something pretty simple like this. And just connect to create a nice mesh. Okay, make sure you connect here to the middle. And I think we can try adding symmetry. And modifying the shape a bit to create the 3D look. So let's add edit poly and start by extruding this part in the center of this triangle. Just extrude it outwards a bit. And then target weld on this end to transition smoothly into the flat shape. Alright, and then we're gonna extrude this part. I'm also gonna rotate it a bit. Make sure it starts like this gradually. Alright, and then next up, we're gonna extrude this leaf. Just a tiny bit. And move this part inwards. Right, let's copy and paste the symmetry modifier. Add some edit poly again. Extrude the back a bit. And try turbo smoothing. And that's close enough, I think. And we can go to the left view. Add the FFD 4x4 just below the turbo smooth. And adjust the overall shape to roughly follow that of the egg. Okay, that's good. Now let's collapse to this FFD modifier. And by selecting this outline and shift plus moving it inwards, we can extrude it and scale it down like this to flatten it. Alright, so just add the material. And looks like I should have extruded this part as well. Okay, let's fix it. Let's just extrude it a little bit. And use the target weld to close the gaps. Okay, to do that first, I'm going to isolate my selection, and we have to get rid of some of the polys inside. So in this case, these are this one, and on the other side it's this one. Otherwise we can't really target weld anything. Okay, that's better. And it would have been just so much easier to extrude the correct polys to start with. This just makes for some unnecessary work. Alright, so that's the basic tileable element. And as you can see, we can just copy those, make some instances, and you have your egg and dart. Okay, so that's the basic idea. I'm also going to show you one little trick, how to quickly create a frame from this by using the symmetry modifier. So I grouped everything together. I'm going to make a copy down here. I'm just going to class it editable mesh, so we don't have any instances there. And by using the symmetry modifier, you can rotate it at 45 degrees. Move it to get a nice corner, for example like this. Add another symmetry modifier. Flip it. Make sure the axis is at the center of the leaf or at the center of the egg. Okay, finally one more symmetry. And that's a quick way to create some ornate frames with geometric ornaments. Alright, let's collapse that to editable mesh. And you have a nice frame going on with the egg and dart carvings. And you can also use it this way. It's the same thing, but slightly different. Just going to collapse it to editable poly or editable mesh. For example, let's say you have a box and you want to use a molding around that. Okay, let's make this box a bit smaller. Let's say you want to apply this molding along the top edge here. Okay, so from the top view, position the molding in place, or if it's easier, from the side view. Make sure it extends past the box. And using the symmetry modifier from the top view, just rotate it at 45 degrees, like this. And you can quickly wrap it around your box. Okay, I'm gonna move it like this, just so I get a nice corner. That's fine. Let's add some symmetry. Flip it around. Make sure it has a nice center point. And if it doesn't match exactly, you can use the FFD 2x2 to quickly slightly move these points. And nobody's gonna tell it's a bit stretched, but you're gonna get some perfect results from that. Okay, and finally, one more symmetry. To close this up. Okay, and you can add FFD again to make sure it's perfect. Okay, just collapse to editable mesh. And in some case you get these weird smoothing issues on the profile. You can fix that by using a smooth modifier with auto smooth enabled. Or if that doesn't work, you can Okay, let's collapse to editable poly and so just select these corners. Looks like some of the vertices are not really welded too well. Okay, in case you get these weird vertices on the corners, you might have to remove them manually. So once you clean that up, you can go ahead and chamfer it. Okay. Okay, so nice and clean edge. Almost there. Okay, so the loop extends all the way around, so it's fine. And just chamfer it a little bit, something like maybe 5 segments. You get a nice smooth corner, like this. Okay, let's make sure the pivot point is at the center. And we can easily fix the other corners with another pair of symmetries. So what I did, I just fixed one of the corners and multiplied it to the other corners by using 2 symmetries. So nice and clean result. And you can see how you would use these decorative profiles with carved moldings.